Ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. Her Excellency, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Yogyakarta, Hungary Digital Economic Forum for today. I am Timotheus Aprianto, or Timothy Aprianto. I am honored and delighted to be here with you. And of course, it's a great honor for us also to host this Yogyakarta Hungary Digital Economic Forum. Together with us also there are about 24 participants joining us through Zoom meetings. So it's quite a lot, although we still expect other people to join with us. Good afternoon, the Chairwoman of Yogyakarta Special Region Chamber of Commerce and Industry, Her Majesty Gusti Kanjeng Ratu Mangkubumi. Good afternoon for the Ambassador of Hungary, Her Excellency Lila Karsey. Good afternoon for Director of Europe 1, Minister of Foreign Affairs, Mr. Widya Satnovic. Good afternoon for Head of Investment and Licensing Department, Yogyakarta Special Regions, Mr. Agus Priyono. Good afternoon for Head of Organization and Membership Department, Yogyakarta Special Region Chamber of Commerce, Mr. Robi Kusumaharta. Good afternoon for Rector and Founder of Amicom, Professor Dr. Mr. Suyanto. And also Head of Investment and Foreign Affairs, and all distinguished guests. First of all, let me, thanks to God, the Almighty, who give us the mercy blessing and who can join to these events without any obstacles. So there are quite a lot of participants to join this digital economic dialogues in Yogyakarta. First, let me read about the rundown for these schedules. So we would like to have, the first agenda is the opening ceremony. So we will hear the national anthem of the Hungary. Please be raised. National Anthem of Republik Indonesia. Excellency and all distinguished guests, please have a seat. Now it's time for us to hear the remarks of Crown Princess Gusti Kanjeng Ratu Mangkubumi as a chairwoman of Indonesian Chamber of Commerce and Industry, Yogyakarta Special Regions.
Your Excellency Ambassador of Hungary, Ms. Lila Karse, also the Director Europe, Mr. Widya Satnovic from the Minister of Foreign Affairs Republic Indonesia, Mr. Agus Priyono, representing the Yogyakarta Regional Government, and also Professor Suyanto from Amikom University, and also all my colleagues from Kadin Daerah Istimewa Yogyakarta and universities in Yogyakarta. I welcome this very important forum with topic Yogyakarta, Hungary Digital Economy Forum. The digital economy is an important priority for Yogyakarta as the region in the center of education in Indonesia, which gives birth to innovation and incubation of startups. Yogyakarta is known as the most advanced region in Indonesia. Digital economy, as its population has the highest digital literacy in Indonesia. Advanced technology, such as in the Industrial Revolution 4.0, are created in Yogyakarta. We have many software companies, and some have succeeded in going public in Indonesia Stock Exchange. We hope that collaboration with Hungary can lead to advancing businesses and knowledge in the field of cybersecurity, artificial intelligence, data analytics, blockchain, and also many more. I wish you a great forum and welcome to Yogyakarta. Thank you.
The next speech, we will hear Head of Investment and the Licensing Departments representing the Yogyakarta Special Regions. I invite Mr. Agus Priyono to deliver his speech. You may, over there, is okay.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. May peace be upon us all. Your Excellency, Madam Lila Karse, the Hungarian Ambassador to Indonesia, Honorable Gusti Kanjeng Ratu Mangkubumi, Mr. Widya Satnovic, Director of European Affairs 1 of the Indonesian Ministry of Foreign Affairs, Mr. Jos Iwan Marantika, Hungarian Honorary Consul in Yogyakarta, dear panelists, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen who are attending this event directly or virtually. It is indeed an honor for the special region of Yogyakarta to host the Yogyakarta Hungary Digital Economic Forum this time. I would say it is appropriate for this forum to be held in Yogyakarta, as this region is known as the city of education in Indonesia. Compared to other regions in Indonesia, Yogyakarta has very limited natural resources. For this region, the Yogyakarta regional government focus on the development of knowledge-based economy. Furthermore, it is even stated in the vision and mission of the governor and deputy governor of Yogyakarta for the period 2022 and 2027 that the development of culture of innovation and the use of information technology are the two things that are emphasized in the development of Yogyakarta for the next 5 years. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, the COVID-19 pandemic that we are experiencing is far more than just a health crisis, since it is ultimately result in social, economic, political, and security crisis. In the end, the world feels the multiplier effect, and thus a strategy must be developed so that humanity can still exist and be able to survive in the global disaster. One strategy that has been successfully implemented is digitalization in various areas of life. And indeed, for more than the last 2 years, the digital economy has become one of the main pillars of the recovery from the COVID pandemic in Indonesia and the world. On this auspicious occasion, I would like to invite all of us to make a harmony and synergy to recover together and to recover stronger. I believe that various efforts to rebuild global life are quintessential. And for that, we need to work together to bring about more resilient with recovery by encouraging digital transformation that is inclusive, empowering, and sustainable. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, it is true that Hungary and Yogyakarta are thousands of kilometers apart. Yet, both are very close emotionally and have a lot of common that can be shared. High-ranking Hungarian official even frequently visited Yogyakarta and met with the governor of Yogyakarta, Sri Sultan Hamengkubuwono X. Among others, Deputy Minister of Foreign Affairs of Hungary, His Excellency Mr. István Jobb, in 2019. Deputy Speaker of the Hungarian National Assembly, Mr. István Jakab, in 2020. And the Prime Minister of Hungary, His Excellency Mr. Viktor Orban, also in 2020. This close relationship is further enhanced by the appointment of Mr. Jos Iwan Marantika as a honorary consul of Hungary based in Yogyakarta. This similarity and closeness that has been built to date is conveyed by the governor of Yogyakarta, is expected to be further developed by establishing a friendly cooperation, sister province cooperation between Yogyakarta and one of the region in Hungary, with education and the digital economy as the main areas of cooperation. We hope that through this collaboration, vocational education in the field of information technology and creative digital that is industry-oriented will be developed. We also sincerely hope that the cooperation in the field of digital economy developed could be one of the deliverables that will be raised at the Hungary-Indonesian Joint Commission in October later this year. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, that concludes my remark. I fervently hope that all of you will have the opportunity to breathe the atmosphere of Yogyakarta in its simplicity, in the midst of its rich tourism and culture treasures. May Allah God Almighty be pleased to bestow His blessing and mercy on us, and may this event be successful as expected. I thank you.
Give applause to the speech of Mr. Agus Priyono, representing the local governments. And now I invite to deliver the opening remarks from the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. I invite Pak Widya Setnovic as the Director of Eropa 1, Europe 1. Please.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Om Swastiastu, Namo Buddhaya, salam kebajikan, salam sejahtera untuk kita semua, Bapak dan Ibu sekalian. Honorable Gusti Kanjeng Ratu Mangkubumi, Crown Princess of Yogyakarta, Her Excellency Lila Karsai, Ambassador of Hungary, Bapak Agus Priyono, Head of Yogyakarta Investment and Foreign Affairs, Bapak George Marantika, Honorary Council of Hungary, distinguished speakers, ladies and gentlemen, very pleasant afternoon to all of us, to all of you, and allow me to begin by extending my sincere appreciation to our host of today's forum, Yogyakarta Provincial Government, Kadin of Yogyakarta, and the Embassy of Hungary for organizing such an important event. Today's forum on digital economy could not have been organized at a more opportune moment in time, as the world must find ways to respond effectively to different pressing challenges from COVID-19 and then the energy and food crisis as a result of the geopolitical tensions in Europe and climate change, for example. But what we can understand that the COVID pandemic has transformed our lives and underline the significance of digital technology in today's world. We have shifted our ways of working, our ways of meeting, schools, even shoppings, and how we conduct business. But I must stress that even before the pandemic, Indonesia has embraced, adapted, and made use of digital technology in our daily lives. We could say that this health crisis serves as a catalyst for faster technology adoption. Digital strategy are now embedded in the collective efforts to overcome developmental challenges, including economic growth, social and health challenges. Distinguished speakers, ladies and gentlemen, allow me to highlight some important points. Firstly, the spirit of collaboration and partnerships are embedded in Indonesia's G20 presidency. Theme, recover together, recover stronger. Indonesia is committed to ensure that the G20 remain relevant and contribute to address global economic and financial crisis by promoting concrete deliverables on 3 priority areas, namely health architecture, energy transition, and digital transformation. Digitalization is envisioned not only to contribute to quicker economic recovery, but also to support sustainable post-pandemic growth. Digital ecosystem in Indonesia grows from strength to strength, not only to support economic growth, it also serves as a new source of growth and opportunities for the micro, small, and medium enterprises. More than 17 million MSMEs in Indonesia now have embraced digitalization. McKinsey predicted that Indonesia's digital economic potential would reach 150 billion US dollars in 2025 and contribute to 10% of Indonesia's GDP. B2B partnerships would help to support digital transformation in Indonesia and enable our homegrown startup to go global. Second, commitment and collaboration are vitals in advancing the potential of digital economy. Indonesia digital landscape has been drawn by multiple actors, from governments, user and consumers, business, think tank, and media. Yogyakarta serves as a perfect example on how the commitment of regional government and collaboration with stakeholders has translated its potential into reality. This collaboration has unleashed creativity and initiated various innovative programs, from digital education to empowering SMEs, from improving public services to developing digital ecosystem, and from campus to traditional market. It is also heartening to see Yogyakarta as a cradle of tradition embrace modern digital platform. It shows that the tradition and modernity can go hand in hand, where the digital platform preserve and promote traditional values. We can see various projects such as the digitalization of manuscript, old manuscript, and the online presence of Kraton or palace in the public social media. It brings me to my third and final point on how we could explore more opportunities between Indonesia as the largest digital economy in Southeast Asia and also Hungary as one of the leading digital economies in Europe. Our bilateral relations have reached a whole new level and emphasize on economic cooperation, including digital economy. Indonesia and Hungary digital communities have developed Han Indotech, a platform which brings our digital entrepreneurs, professionals, and investors closer to explore cooperations. Ambassador Lila Karsai and I myself will be happy to welcome you all to the upcoming Han Indotech and Business Forum on 5th of October 2022. So it will be 2 months from now in Jakarta. And I encourage Yogyakarta business and digital communities to join this event and to tap potential sectors, among others in innovative digital solutions, smart cities, and medical technologies. Distinguished speaker, ladies and gentlemen, I'm confident that in today's forum, we will be able to identify more opportunities and common interests for our mutual benefits, such as downstream digital and its infrastructure, exploring cooperation in the field of cybersecurity, taking into account the respective laws and regulations, of course, developing digital talents program through inter-university cooperation. And we are also honored by the presence of Managing Director of Hungary's Digital Success Program, Mr. Jobaki. Welcome to Yogyakarta, and looking forward to listening to your views on these important issues. And to conclude, please be assured that the Ministry of Foreign Affairs of the Republic of Indonesia will continue to work together with the government of Yogyakarta, with Kadin, and as well with the government and the Embassy of Hungary to promote our common interest in digital economy and beyond. And I wish all of us a more successful and impactful discussions. Matur nuwun, kezenam sipen, thank you, terima kasih.
Thank you very much, Mr. Widya Setnovics, to deliver a very inspiring, strong, and clear message that give us a lot of information and encourage us to have better opportunity for us to talk about. And the next speech, we welcome Her Excellency Lila Karsai, the Ambassador of Hungary, to deliver her speech. Time is yours.
Her Excellency Menkubumi Crown Princess of Yogyakarta, Mr. Agus Priano, Head of Investment Board and International Affairs of the Government of Yogyakarta, Mr. Vidya Sadnovic, Director of Europa Satu at the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, Mr. László Jobbágy, Managing Director of the Hungarian Digital Success Program, members of the Indonesian Chamber of Commerce and Industry in Yogyakarta, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. I had a very recent visit 2 weeks ago at His Majesty, and now I think it is a very great opportunity to showcase that we are not just talking about the business opportunities, but we are actually taking actions. And my visit is not just only about this Digital Economic Forum, but also I'm visiting the International Olympiad in Informatics that will be hosted next year by Hungary. So I think this is a very great opportunity that we are talking about technology, what our countries can do together. First of all, I would like to express my sincere gratitude to Pak George Ivan Marantika, Honorary Consul of Hungary, because without him this couldn't come alive, this event, and he just had a very recent visit to Australia. So technically he had 1 week and he could arrange all of these great events. So thank you very much again, Pak. And now I would like to give some remarks about what is Hungary doing here and what are the opportunities we could make. Hungary and Indonesia just celebrated the 65th anniversary of the diplomatic relations in 2020, but I believe that we never had stronger relations than now, which was thinking of many different things. For example, Hungary 10 years ago created the Opening to the East strategy, foreign policy strategy, which means that we are not just relying on or dependent on the European Union, but also we are opening to technically all the Eastern countries that geographically away from us. I think by that time we can tell that we are here in the Southeast Asian region very strongly. For example, in the ASEAN countries, almost every country we have already an embassy or at least representative office. Hungary is very well represented, and we have high-level delegations all the years. For example, my Prime Minister, Mr. Orbán Viktor, visited in 2020. My Minister of Foreign Affairs came in 2020 and 2021 as well. This is how we would like to show our commitment and that we actually want to be here and we want to show what we can offer. Also, very important to note that I always tell the Hungarian companies that this is not going to happen, any business from one day to another. When you come to Indonesia, you have to put also the money, the time, and most importantly, the respect. You have to be friends first, and after you can build on those relations and do some businesses. People-to-people relations are very important. Therefore, the Hungarian government is also invested in scholarship programs. Every year, Hungary gives 100 scholarships for higher education to Indonesian students, and in the ASEAN region, we almost give 1,000 scholarships. These people, these students, are the bridge between our countries. They will have the good memories, hopefully also have the great studies, and then when they return home, they will also have the good relations, and they are representing Hungary as well. We can call them perhaps like my deputy ambassadors. Also, I think that what is making our relations very strong, that historically we have a lot in common. Hungary and Indonesia has never been a colonizer. However, we also had to witness to be invaded several times. I think we can understand each other very well, that we are a proud nation and we also have to make our own fortune to achieve the good results. We also, however, Hungary is only a 10 million inhabitant country. We have very different challenges, 10,000 kilometers away from Indonesia, but I believe that together we can still add a lot, and we have to build on relations, on mutual benefits. Hungary is a very well-known country on different fields. For example, in sports, we are very successful. We are among the 10 most successful countries who owns the Olympic medals in the Summer Olympics. But also we have great innovators. Perhaps you didn't even know, but there were several innovations that Hungarians gave the world. For example, the ball pen, the dynamo, Rubik's Cube, and many others that we can be very proud of. What I am especially very proud that in the history of Hungary's modern economy, we just made the biggest export transfer here in Indonesia with $300 million US. This is the multi-lane free-flow electronic toll payment system, and the Hungarian government contributes to the Indonesian national strategic project in a very big amount with this. In very soon, in Indonesia, all around the highways, only by using an application, Indonesian people can go through the highways without stopping at any gates. I think this is something that puts Hungary on the map in Indonesia, and it can open many, many doors for us that we are very happy to go inside. Also, as Mr. Sadnovic just mentioned, that we are facing many other challenges nowadays. We just recovered very recently from the COVID, and now we are facing other issues like the Russian-Ukrainian war. I think that what brings together with the food and energy crisis, it is very sad that we have to be very fast responding, and we cannot even recover that easily. And especially these times, it is very important to stick together and help to each other. Not just help to each other, but we have to be very focused how we will sort out all these issues. We need to do custom-made solutions. It is not the time when we can spend time on the decision makings. We have to do actions regarding to this. Beside of the healthcare and the supply chains, I believe that the small and medium-sized enterprises are the driving forces to answer for these challenges. Beside of them, for sure, the government role is also inevitable. Without a clear strategy and without giving the right tools to these SMEs, the system cannot be sustainable. Therefore, I think share the best practices is very important. And I don't want to I don't want to give any spoilers, but Mr. Laszlo Jobbágy, Managing Director of the Digital Success Program, will share a lot of ideas, and I think it will be a great starter for the conversation between the business stakeholders. ACPM is also here with us online, and they will also give some presentation about the very recent project they are working on with Yogyakarta universities about creating a security operations center, which is a training center for cybersecurity. I believe that it will be very interesting as well, and I encourage everyone to ask as many questions as you can regarding to this. Thank you very much again for the distinguished guest, also Professor Suyanto, Pak Robi Kusumaharta, Pak Hermavan Ardiyanto, Pak Reza Maulana, and Pak Timothy. And once again, many thanks to Pak George Ivan Marantika, Honorary Consul of Hungary. Thank you very much.
Kosonom Kesen. Is it the correct pronunciation? Kosonom Kesen. I just learned quickly. Thank you very much for delivering a very inspiring message from Her Excellency Lula Kasai, the Ambassador of Hungary. Now it's time for us to come to the, hopefully we have a very fruitful panel discussion that will be conducted by Mr. Josh Iwan Marantika, who is known for us is a very senior advisor, and also he's in charge, vice chairpersons of investment and foreign affairs of Yogyakarta Special Regions Chamber of Commerce. There will be several speakers during the panel discussion. So, Pak Josh Iwan Marantika, I give it the time for you, please. No, just one word. That's a sepen.
Thank you, Pak Tim. So thank you for emceeing today, and also thank you for helping organizing all of this event for today. Ladies and gentlemen, in the room, we have leaders, ambassador of business leaders of the Chamber of Commerce and Industry. We have also university leaders here, and even we have the younger generation, of Junior Chamber is here, and also tech software companies are here also. Either they're here in the room or also in the online, coming in online. Before we start, I'd like to just comment that this event is a follow-up of the meeting that Her Excellency Ambassador Lila Karsai conducted on the 28th of July with business leaders, on the 28th of July with business leaders from the Chamber of Commerce and Industry and university leaders, and also on the 29th of July with His Majesty Sri Sultan Hamengkubuwono X, the Governor of Yogyakarta. And the meeting on that 29th led to this forum that we have today to discuss the issues that was just presented by the opening remarks that was conducted just today. The issues that Gusti Kanjeng Ratu Mangkubumi just shared with us, that Yogyakarta is a significant region in the digital economy in Indonesia with the highest digital literacy. Many software companies have been evolving out of Yogyakarta, and many have actually gone public, in the Indonesian Stock Exchange. I think Pak Wawan, Run Systems was the last one that a few months ago, went public in the Indonesian Stock Exchange. So Yogyakarta is a vibrant digital economy hub. And because of that, as what Pak Agus was sharing in his speech, is that we welcome a further alliance with Hungary, because the alliance between Yogyakarta and Hungary has been long-standing. Pak Agus has mentioned that we've had the Prime Minister of Hungary here just recently in 2020, and also before that, actually in 2016 was here. So twice the Prime Minister of Hungary, Viktor Orban, was here in Yogyakarta. And we also hope that this strategic alliance will advance in the future. And also similar to what the director of Ministry of Foreign Affairs, Pak Widya, and I just heard you're from Yogyakarta, ya, Pak? Yeah, so jadi Pak Widya's mother is from Yogyakarta, but your last name is Sadnovic, So is that Slavic or or is that Hungarian or maybe? Probably, okay. So that's a very interesting background, and as you shared, in October, you will have the Hunindutech, and we hope that the relationship between Yogyakarta and Hungary will be declared, the new alliance in the digital space declared during that time. So this conversation will kick off the initiation of the ideas that we will have. And obviously, Ambassador, as you shared with us today, there are many opportunities that Yogyakarta and Hungary can work on. So we are very happy to have this dialogue, and for this dialogue, we have panelists here today coming offline in this room and also online. So we have several people coming online. I will share with you who will be here with us today. Offline is Mr. Laszlo Jobagi, the Managing Director of Digital Success Program. Thank you, sir, for joining. And you are from Budapest or from Hungary and Budapest or? Okay, well, where are you from? Oh, okay, don't. Oh, okay, that's very good. It's Javanese, maybe.
Similar.
Javanese. Thank you, sir. Thank you. And then we also have from Hungary coming in via online, Mr. Márton Miklós, the Managing Director of ACPM IT. And also accompanying Ambassador Lila Karsai from the embassy is Mr. Attila. Thank you, Mr. Attila, for joining us from the Embassy of Hungary, coming in from Jakarta. So we have many guests that will be speaking, but we also have from the Indonesian guests or Yogyakarta guests, Professor M. Suyanto, the rector of Amicom and founder of Amicom, a legend in Indonesia's digital landscape. Yeah, he's developed many software companies and very well known in Indonesian digital landscape. Yeah. One of the pioneers of Indonesia's digital economy, you might say. And we also have with us Dr. Reza Maulana, who will be coming in online, and he will share his experience with Hungary as a digital business. And then in the end, we will have the conclusion from Mr. Robi Kusumaharta from the Indonesian Chamber of Commerce Industry, the Senior Vice Chairman of organization representing the Indonesian Chamber of Commerce Industry. So, Ambassador, Your Excellency, without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, we shall begin this discussion. And for each speaker, you are allocated 10 minutes to share your thoughts about how we can move forward this strategic initiative between Yogyakarta as a digital economy hub in Indonesia with Hungary, obviously, as advanced digital economy nation. With that, we begin with Mr. Laszlo Jobagi, the Managing Director of Digital Success Program. Sir, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much. It's so good to be here. There is going to be a presentation. Maybe if you could start it. And until then, I welcome everyone and thank you for your hospitality, Your Majesty, Your Excellency, and distinguished guests. As Her Excellency already stated, there's a celebration of IT happening here in Yogyakarta right now. 350 of the brightest young minds in IT programming and algorithms are here, so I have to start with some maths. When we were working in Hungary on the digital government, there were like 2,000 of the databases and systems, information systems, operating separately in the Hungarian government, and we said that okay, if you want to share the information among these databases, and the key word to the 21st century is the interoperability and APIs and connecting the data sets and databases. We would need for the 2,000 systems over 2 million connections. But the IT agency introduced a system which is in the middle and acts as a common interface between all the system, and this way you only need 2,000 connections. So you would never implement 2,000 connections, but 2 million connections, but 2,000 connections is possible because they already have some connection to the central database. And I think the Digital Success Program, who am I representing, which is a government initiative in Hungary and is in operation since 2015, can be this kind of middleman, this interface, because Hungary has a lot of SMEs, Hungary has a lot of startups, especially in the IT field and in the digitization field, and we try to access them and grant an interface for our foreign partners. And this is a presentation which I showed to many great individuals and many great organizations through this week on my stay here in Indonesia. So I think for some participants it's going to be familiar and they are going to remember it, but I will show this to everyone. So we can go to the next slide, please. Okay, I don't think anyone can read any of this sitting at this hall, but I will shortly introduce the Digital Success Program. This is the aim set of the Digital Success Program. We are operating like we want. So the three key areas for a successful digital transformation in Hungary, we believe, is the human, the people. We want them to be competent. We have led in the past 7 years many broad programs on the digitization and the education of the people, from the little children to the pensioners, to the elderly as well. But also we want them to be likable, not only competent, not only spending we don't want the people to spend spend their whole time using their mobile phones or using their computers and using the social media. We also want them to have interactions with each other personally, and digitization can be a help to this as well. And there are some harms of the digitization and harms of the digital world which we want to prevent them from or defend them from. And we also want them to participate in the life of their community, so we want them to be state forming. The machine refers to the digital economy, and I think this is the most important here, so I will present some slides which may be interesting for you. The greatest issue establishing an efficient and well-working digital economy in Hungary is the presence of some actors, some big international companies with a lot of capital abusing the laws, abusing the regulations. So our main goal is to set up a good field and elevate a great game where everyone is playing according to the rules. And of course, we want to promote the home team, the Hungarian companies. That's why we are operating a lot of programs which I'm going to show you. And the system refers to the operations of the government itself. As Her Excellency already mentioned, there are several decent government information systems and digital solutions which we already implemented along with some great digital companies. That's what we are gathering in 3 fields. We believe that the key to the successful digital operation of the government is the data, which has to be clean, which has to be interoperable, and which has to use all the APIs. We want to utilize all the public data and also the private data to create a good data economy. That's why we set up an agency called the National Data Asset Agency. The robots refer to the artificial intelligence. We want to utilize the software robots and the artificial intelligence in the operation of the government. There are some new developments in the government which may be interesting to anyone. And there is a Hungarian specialty of the network science. There are several decent and well-known Hungarian network scientists whose methods we want to use in the operations of the government itself. Thank you. Could we please pass to the next slide? Okay, these are some of our strategies. It's also quite hardly readable here offline, but I think we are going to share it with you. Our big strategies are available in English on our webpage, which we are going to share with you if you are interested, but several other strategic documents and presentations are available in English. Our biggest and all the strategies are the National Digital Education Strategy. This goes along with the strategy on the digital child protection, which aims the safe internet use and the education of teachers and parents. And in the field of digital economy, we have 2 major strategies called the Digital Startup Strategy and, what's more important, the Digital Export Development Strategy, which I'm going to be speaking about later. But we also have some sectoral strategies, from the agriculture to the artificial intelligence to the creative industry, which are also available. Thank you. Can we move to the next one, please? There are some specificities in the operation of the Digital Success Program, which we call coalitions. Coalitions are always a cooperation between the government side, the government sector, the ministries, and the universities, research institutions, and the private sector, and of course the NGOs. These are 4 fields we are operating coalitions: the 5G, the artificial intelligence, the drones, and the blockchain technology. That's why we are proud of that we were among the first to have an operating 5G network in Hungary, which could be used for R&D purposes, but now there is a fully functional 5G network in Hungary, and we have some achievements on the field of artificial intelligence. We have a very comprehensive strategy on artificial intelligence and also in the field of drones and blockchain, NFTs, metaverses, and so on. Thank you. Can we pass to the next? Okay, and we are also operating this. This may be interesting here in Indonesia, and this is something that not everyone and every government does. We are operating a knowledge center on. I'm sorry. We are operating a knowledge center on smart cities called Civitas Sapiens, but what unique is that we are mostly focusing on the little small communities, small towns and villages, because Hungary is special. Although a small country, we have a lot of municipalities, local governments, over 3,000 of them, and vast majority, about 85–90% of them are below 5,000 inhabitants, and they have specific needs, and there are no two villages, no two towns with the same needs. That's what we are trying to address, and there are some interesting programs what we are leading in the field of smart cities. Can we pass please to the next? Okay, I think this is the most important, the Digital Export Development Center. We are operating a mentor program and the database we call the HYPER, Hungarian Yellow Pages for Export Reconnaissance. Our database consists of over 200 companies. These are not startups. They have already working products and technologies and references, and they are validated by subcontractors from the legal, from the technical, from the operational, and from the defense aspect. And those who pass enter our database and our mentor program, where we try to help them enter the foreign markets. And along with the efforts of the Hungarian government, this region is among the most important target markets for our companies. They are operating in those fields like fintech, HR tech, GovTech. EdTech has some 50 companies, because our first and biggest strategy was the digital education strategy, and we built quite an ecosystem on the educational technology. And also that I mentioned, the smart city, the Civitas Sapiens, has more than 40 companies in our export database. We can give access to anyone, to all of our companies, if they have a will to cooperate, set up a joint venture, or just share their interest. We are organizing business forums quarterly with a specific topic, and I think the next business forums topic is going to be this region, the ASEAN region. Thank you. Can we move forward, please, to the next one? These are some of our international partnerships. The most important partnerships were selected from this area. We just had an MOU with the Digital Filipinas and with the Depop Thailand in the field of smart cities. We are also working with the Taiwanese organizations and also the Vietnamese network of experts in Europe. But also we are working with some European unions and some national organizations in Europe, and we hope that we may sign an MOU with Kumpul. We just met this week, sometime later, maybe at the government joint economic committee. Thank you very much. We may go to the next slide, last slide, and that was all.
Thank you, Mr. Laszlo, for that presentation. And as you were speaking, on my right is the government of Yogyakarta head of international affairs. He was asking me, is there opportunity between Yogyakarta and your organization to work together? So that's something that you can discuss during the networking dinner tonight. Thank you for that very insightful presentation. And now we have coming in from online, from Budapest, And right now in Budapest, it is probably 1 p.m., around 1 p.m. in Budapest, or 11 p.m. from Budapest. Yeah, 11 a.m., sorry, 11 a.m. in Budapest. Almost 10 a.m. in Budapest. Or 12 a.m. in Budapest. But coming in from Budapest, a very important organization, and that is the ACPMIT, which is in the field of cybersecurity. And just before Mr. Marton Miklos, the managing director, will speak before us, that is a topic that between Yogyakarta and now Hungary being discussed quite seriously, and that is developing Yogyakarta as a cybersecurity hub in Indonesia and maybe in Southeast Asia, working together with Hungary and ACPM IT from Budapest. Mr. Marton Miklos, can you hear me, sir? Yes, thank you, sir.
Yes, I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. Thank you, Kosonom. So, Mr. Marton, the floor is yours.
Thank you. So, Your Majesty, Your Excellencies, distinguished guests, so thank you for this opportunity. Let me talk a little bit about ourselves. ACPM IT Consulting is headquartered in Budapest, in the heart of East Central Europe, but we operate globally. So we have representative offices in South Africa, Kenya, Rwanda, United Arab Emirates, Malaysia, and we take great pride of our international expert base. As a proof of our growth, we are currently expanding our operation to Indonesia, and we are planning to open a security operations center and cybersecurity training headquarters with Jakarta universities, taking advantage of Jakarta's digital competence and resources. So this is a very big project for us, and we hope that we can be a success. We certainly will do everything for it. ACPN IT specializes in IT security, IT auditing, cybersecurity technologies, quality assurance, risk management. And we operate Security Operations Center in Budapest, in Hungary, and also in Nairobi, in Kenya. You probably all know that cybersecurity became more and more part of our daily life and increasingly important. I would say that actually indispensable for our businesses, corporations, and governments as well. So there is a massive cyber arms race out there, and I think no country can remain disconnected from the realities of this race. As the world's 16th largest economy, Indonesia aspires to improve its industry competitiveness and become a top 10 global economic powerhouse. So, and I believe that a strong digital economy and cyber resilience is required building block. Building a cyber resilience in Indonesia for the financial industry, corporations, government, I personally hope it's an absolute necessity to be successful on this road. So we hope that our Security Operations Center presence in Indonesia will contribute to this greatly. Our mission is not only threat prevention, detection, and incident response, but also awareness building and education, which is very, very important. We consider cybersecurity education and also education generally in IT as being a key component of digital growth. After all, knowledge is the only truly effective tool to combat cybercrime. We have actually started our Indonesian-Hungarian cooperation 5 years ago. And I believe this is just the beginning for us. I'm very thankful for the help of Ambassador Lila Karsai and representative of the Hungarian embassy in Jakarta for their support and help that they provided to overtake the geographical distance between our countries and to bring us together in this great adventure. And I will be very happy to answer any of your questions later on regarding our presence, how we're planning to operate the Security Operations Center, and what is our model of cooperation with the universities, information sharing, trainings, and so on. So thank you very much.
For your reference, Mr. Marton Miklos, the ambassador on the 29th of July had an audience with His Majesty the Sultan of Yogyakarta, Sultan Hamengkubuwono X, and he endorsed his full support of the Yogyakarta government to establish a cybersecurity training center in Yogyakarta for servicing the needs of the talent base in Indonesia. So let us give a round of applause for that initiative, everyone.
Absolutely, thank you.
Thank you, and we hope that in October that initiative could be declared as the framework will be worked out with the government of Yogyakarta, who is on my right hand here, and the Indonesian government with the ambassador Lila from the Hungarian government, and also the stakeholders here in this room from the Indonesian Chamber of Commerce, from the Yogyakarta Chamber of Commerce and Industry, and the various stakeholders here. So thank you, Mr. Marton Miklos, for joining us. And if you're okay to stay, there might be question and answers afterwards. So thank you, Mr. Marton Miklos, coming in from Budapest, from the beautiful city of Budapest.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Thank you. And now we go to our next speaker. This is now the Indonesian response, or the Yogyakarta response. So the first two speakers were initiatives made by our Hungarian counterparts from the business community, the Hungarian business community, and now from the Yogyakarta business community, and also from the tech ecosystem, from Yogyakarta software and tech ecosystem, the pioneer himself. The pioneer himself, who pioneered the industry with many others, but he is a leading pioneer, not only in Yogyakarta, but in Indonesia. Professor Dr. M. Suyanto, the founder and the rector of Amikom University, who has also established 12 significant software companies in Yogyakarta and Indonesia. Professor Suyanto, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Pak Jos. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good evening, and His Excellency Ambassador Lila Karse, and yang saya hormati Pak Widya, Pak Agus Priyono, Pak Robi, Pak Jos, Pak Tim, and ladies and gentlemen. Today I would like to talk about Jogja Creative Economy Valley. My name M. Suyanto, Su mean good, Yanto smart and handsome. So Suyanto good, smart and handsome. Today, Yogyakarta collaborate with Hollywood and film, New York and ICT, and we collaborate with Silicon Valley and ICT. I think very interesting. Next. And today I would like to talk about Creative Digital Association. Next. Because limited time, so I present quickly. This is a deploy imagine. This is a incubator and company and digital. Next. Fast pay in view. This is, I think, more than 100 companies in digital. Very interesting. We can collaborate with Hungary. Next. And next. This is Kimlov. I think next Kimlov. Barcelona and Budapest. And Jogjakarta. Security and maybe animation here. Next, This is engine of innovation. And we collaborate with New York, Wall Street. We collaborate with Silicon Valley, and we collaborate with Hollywood. And we collaborate with government, Pak Agus Priyono, I think. Next, This is incubator. We have incubators, accelerator 500s from Silicon Valley. Y Combinator Silicon Valley. National University of Singapore is called blockchain. Blocks 71. And APP, Amicom Business Park. The next. This is block 71. Yogyakarta, San Francisco, Jakarta, Bandung, and Nagoya. Next. This is our Amicom Business Park. We have frogs. I think very interesting because you have drone, so I have drone too. Next. This is our drone. Oh, sorry. Next part. This is, we have MSV Studio. Harry is CEO of MSV Studio. We collaborate with Hollywood. We have office in United States, and China and Singapore. So we can export animation from Indonesia to Hollywood. Next. This is Battle of Surabaya, more than 40 international awards. I think very interesting. And we have Ajisaka. Next. This is Varieties Hollywood magazine. I think very interesting. Indonesian film, but Variety Hollywood magazine. Ajisaka marks debut for $100 million. I think very interesting. And then it's animation slate from Indonesia's MSV Studio. This is Geo from MSV Studio. I'm sorry. Next. And Canes, we have next. Ajisaka, very interesting. And Cannes Film Festival. Next. This is our booth in California Picture and Cannes Film Festival and March of the Film. Next. This is, we hope the top 5 distributor of film in the world is Disney. Number 2 is Warner Bros. And then Universal, Paramount. We try collaborate with Warner Bros., Universal, and Paramount. Next. This is Ajisaka. I think Ajisaka more than $15 million. So if $15 million more than N209, another craft. I think very interesting. So animation is very important. Yeah. Next, this is our film, Ajisaka, Golden Snail, and Crescent Light. Next, in Amicom University, we call open innovation. We can collaborate with Hungary, I think. External idea, internal idea, we can combine. Yeah. So we can, new market and existing market. I think very interesting for film, I think. Yeah. The next part. This is we collaborate with Warner Bros. HBO. Where is Anne Frank? Next. 2020 Oscar prediction Best Animated Feature. Next. 1, 2, 3, 8. Next. This is Where is Anne Frank? I think top 20 Oscar nomination. Okay, applause for us. Next. This is we collaborate with Petje, Samsa Film Luxembourg, and Bridget's Volman Film Gang, Israel, ya kan? Submarine, the Netherlands, De La Part of France, Infine Studio, Singapore, Indonesia, and our studio, MSV Studio. Yeah. Next.
What are you waiting for, Anne? Open your presents.
Oh, that's so lovely. When you write, who do you actually write to?
To myself, of course.
I prefer to think of my diary as a girl, a best friend. Her name will be Kitty. Kitty. I like it.
Come down, Anne. I'm waiting for you.
Is he a boy from class? Of course.
Who are you talking to, Anne?
Up until a year ago, everyone was in love with me.
Everyone?
It was all so wonderful. Then everything changed.
We're leaving.
They told everyone we were to blame for all the world's problems.
This secret apartment is going to be our hiding place. For every person we welcome is a good chance we are saving a life. You could use those characters in your head. Make them fight your war somehow.
This young lady here named Kitty is looking for Anne Frank.
Have you seen her?
Anne did not write this diary so that you could worship her. What is important?
Get in the truck.
Do everything you can to save one single soul from harm. Just one soul.
What do you see, Peter?
I see the Allied forces. They're coming to liberate us. And you?
I see angels, Peter.
Where is Anne Frank? Next, Pak. We have a company called Time Excelindo. More than 10 airports in Indonesia, some of software is designed by our company. Yeah. Soekarno-Hatta. Soekarno-Hatta Airport, Ngurah Rai Airport, Pinggan Balikpapan, and so on. Next. Yeah. This is we collaborate, Pak Jos. You are very handsome. Collaborate with Nelnet International. Yeah. Next, the State and New York, Wall Street, New York. We collaborate with Silicon Valley Innovation Center. Next, our Princeton alumni entrepreneurs, 11%. Yeah. Harvard, 30%. MIT, 15%, and with 29%. It's like Stanford. Yeah, I think it's very interesting university. Next, yeah, very important for us because big data and predictive analytics and artificial intelligence and machine learning. Yeah, augmented reality and virtual reality and autonomous vehicle, blockchain, yeah, we can collaborate. Yeah, and Internet of Things. I think this is very important today. Next, yeah. This is our research, collaborate with Silicon Valley. Yeah. Next.
Amico, a private entrepreneurial model by UNESCO International Program.
I was very impressed when I visited Amicom University because I think it's the first university of Stanford.
Universitas Amicom Yogyakarta, Creative Economy Park.
President Silicon Valley. Next. Yeah. This is The metaverse is our concern today. Next, yeah. And we collaborate. We have companies, Kit Collision, CEO of Kit, Mr. Emha, concern and metaverse. Next, yeah. Okay, play. We collaborate with Facebook or Meta company. Next, Pak. Next, we collaborate with the Hollywood company. Next, I would like to show teaser of Achisaka. Okay, next.
energy. Awaken the power that sleeps inside you.
Sometimes it just emerges, but I can't fully control it.
The key to your powers lies within. Only by understanding yourself will you understand your power.
Welcome to Java.
You don't need to worry about some mongrel boy.
That stupid prophecy will never come true.
Ya penyu, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Thank you, Professor M. Suyanto, the rector and founder of AMICOM University. And Ambassador and colleagues, this is an example of where Yogyakarta is at, where universities have incubated many companies like AMICOM, from software all the way to drones, to animations, and now even going into metaverse. Yeah. So that is an example, and I think this is where the capacity of the collaboration can look into. And now we move to the next speaker, who has experience actually as an Indonesian company working with Hungarian companies. And he's coming in online. Dr. Reza Maulana, coming in online from Jakarta. Dr. Reza, can you hear me?
Yes, sure.
Reza? Yes.
Hi, George.
Okay.
Can you hear me?
Yes, thank you.
Yes.
Thank you. So, Dr. Reza, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Your Excellency Lila Karsai, Pak George, Mr. Laszlo, dear panelists. Thank you very much for the opportunity given to me this afternoon. So today I will be representing PT Digifly Indonesia, an Indonesian company, and that actually I'm also representing KADIN, the Indonesian Chambers of Commerce, for the as a deputy head for Indonesia and Hungary bilateral committee. So again, today is a very important occasion, especially because it's also held in Yogyakarta, whereby we all know that Yogyakarta is actually the Indonesian center, or maybe the hub for creative and also digital innovations. So today, I would like to also share a little bit small introductions about our companies. So PT Digifly Indonesia is actually a leading media monitoring and text analytic company. So our solutions are available in 4 different platforms, starting from media monitoring, formal media monitoring, social media intelligence, or maybe we all know as a social listening, enterprise customer insights, and lastly is actually the integrated feedback analytics platform. So since 2015, our company, Digifly, we set a joint operating scheme, or known as KSO, maybe Indonesia, with LKBN Antara, which is the national news agency. Currently, we have been used by more than 150 clients all over Indonesia and overseas also, ranging from government, non-profit organizations to Fortune 500 companies operating in Indonesia. Basically, our technology focusing on 3 areas, which is digitalization process. The second one is actually about textual data mining, and also the analytics or text analytics. We have huge span of media database that is digitalized by our team on a daily basis. Our digitalization coverage include 150 plus, I guess, print media, 85 TV news programs that we digitize over on a daily basis, as well as, of course, 2,500 online news portals. In addition, we also crawl 5 major social media platforms starting from Facebook to TikTok currently.
Makanya kan nanti kan
encounter with Hungarian technology was actually back in 2019.
Kan tadi dijadiin aja kan dalam satu acara itu loh, seperti itu.
Excuse me, can admin please mute the Zoom? Thank you very much. Okay, go back again. My first encounter was actually with Hungarian technology was actually back in 2019, where actually I participated in the ITU or International Telecommunication Conference in Budapest. So I involved as one of the speakers for the artificial intelligence or AI sessions, where I met with Peter Sakares. He's actually the founder and CEO of Netical KFT. So Netical is an innovative company. So they are actually developing the text analytic solutions by using their own proprietary algorithm. They introduced the first in the world human level precision NLP or natural language processing in their text analytics. So sorry for so many technical jargons here, but for the layman people, I think what can be innovated or maybe can be introduced by this innovation is actually whereby the engine can understand the meaning of text in whichever format, whether it's news articles or maybe a short Twitter message, just like the way human can interpret it. So instead of using the dictionary or semantic basis, they're actually using the human correlations in terms of interpreting the text itself. So I was very impressed. And since actually we are actually doing the same things in Indonesia, we are crawling lots of the media database, and of course we actually employed up to today more than 50 analysts that actually doing the data cleansing, adjusting the tonalities, and so on and so forth. So we decided, Peter and I, we decided to actually develop the AI-based text analytics in Bahasa Indonesia or Indonesian language for the very first time in Indonesia. So it was again back in 2019. I don't know if it's blessing or curse, but during the pandemic, we're actually focusing in terms of developing itself. So during that time, we are still operating using our semantic-based NLPs. And after the pandemic is pretty much over, or maybe during the new normal, we started to introduce that. And up to today, the cooperation is getting stronger and stronger. We actually have been implemented Netical and DigiFlash NLP to all of our platforms and products and services. So a lesson learned maybe, Pak George here as moderator. So if I may pick three areas or maybe three focus of the lesson learned in actually developing this partnership with Hungarian company, number one is actually, of course, a synergy. So what I'd like to actually explore more about the synergy here is actually how actually we can find the area of synergy itself. Indonesia is a huge market for any aspects of digital business. That's what I believe. And Hungary, in parallel, is a strong for an innovative and non-mainstream, again, non-mainstream solutions, such as artificial intelligence, new area of AI, for example, robotics, cybersecurity, and of course, new area in financial technologies. So again, finding the right spot in terms of synergy is very important. The second point is actually to collaborate more. So here is actually, we as an IT professionals needs to be tested to some extent to make sure that all the development and commercial process are taken place.
Okay, just tell me when we get back on so I can welcome the people online ya. Nanti saya dikasih tahu aja kalau udah kembali bisa kita welcome. Huh? Are we back on? Back online? Ah, Dr. Reza, we're back online. So I think we got cut off, yeah. Yeah.
So when was I cut off?
You were on your last suggestion, yeah.
All right.
About the validation, yeah.
So again, all right, okay, thank you. So lastly, I'd like to thank the active role from the Hungarian Embassy in Jakarta, of course, to introduce Indonesian business players to its match from Hungarian counterpart, for sure. And I'm very happy to also see the there is a initial collaborations between Kumpul, the Yogyakarta-based digital community, along with DSP, Digital Success Program, that is represented by Mr. Laszlo today. It's a very good MDO, and I believe with the active participation, proactive participation from both ends, big things can happen. It's again Yogyakarta, the heart of the digital and creative industry in Indonesia, and of course it's Hungary, whereby all the digital innovations taken place in Central Europe. Again, by George, that's all. Thank you very much, everyone.
Thank you, Dr. Reza. Let's give a round of applause to Dr. Reza Maulana. Dr. Reza is also the Vice Chairman of the Hungarian Bilateral Committee. You have the Kadin logo, Kadin Indonesia logo on your right hand of the shirt. Yeah. Makasih Pak. Ya, beliau dari Kadin Indonesia, Wakil Ketua Komite Bilateral Hungari di Kadin Indonesia. Terima kasih Pak Reza. So now, also from Kadin now, to conclude this conversation, from Kadin Special Region of Yogyakarta, the Senior Vice Chairman of organization, Bapak Robi Kusumaharta, to conclude the panel and share your thoughts regarding the strategic opportunity of collaboration between Yogyakarta and Hungary in the digital economy landscape. Pak Robi, the floor is yours.
Thank you. Excellency Ibu Lila Karsi yang saya hormati, and then also Pak Agus Priyono, of course Pak Widya, dan other senior Chamber of Commerce members and also the guests. Well, I'm coming here as representing the businessmen from Jogja or member of Chamber of Commerce. That's why I try to give some my papers is regarding as a challenger of the digital economy in Indonesia. I'm building at least five items become the challenging of the digital economic in Indonesia. First, of course, the cyber security. Cyber security is still the major challenging in many countries in terms. Imagine that in India, one day about 1,225 billion cyber attack every day in our country. That's a very big number. This cyber attack is ransomware, which can attack websites that operate in the digital economy. The case can be used as a lesson in how ransomware was able to break into the central bank. We remember the Bangladesh or Malaysia, it happened like that. As a result, of course, therefore, very important for my government to create a high-level internet security system to safeguard transaction and investment in the digital economy. My own experience, I've become I send the money from the United States, about $2 million US, and it's lose because of that, because the hacker. Then number two is competition is getting tougher. The digital economic also bring increasingly fair market competition. Like today, everyone, because of e-commerce, the product from China, from Japan, from other countries, they push the local products. For that's why there is a need for synergy from the government and the local product, the private sector, so that this local product can be compete, both through the coaching and innovation assistance, so that the crucial local product can enjoy the benefit of the digital investment in Indonesia economic. Number three is my main job every day, is human resources development. The next challenge is dealing with digital investment is the Indonesian economic is about the human resources. This is certainly a homework for government in development countries such as Southeast Asia, including my country or on my city, Yogyakarta. As a report by Compass, in Southern Asia, professional resources is boosting the growth of the digital economic but still minimal. Like homework, in development country, manual labor still dominates resources in terms of economic system. This challenge cannot be solved in a short time. That's why just now we are working with the German and other countries too, and like a dual system. One solution is that the government must again work together is educating the public and preparing the education system. The key is education system. That is according to with the time, if you want to have a good competitiveness, the face today is digital economic. Number 4, ability of qualified internet access. Similar on development human difficulties. Another factor that is no less important is infrastructure. In this case, the important point on the availability of qualified internet access is almost all area. This is because internet access is both affect economic digital investment in Indonesia. Currently, internet access is still centralized in the largest islands such as Java, Sumatra, Bali, and Nusa Tenggara. Meanwhile, such area Kalimantan, Sulawesi, Papua, others is very minimal. The data was reported by Associate of the Internet Service Provider. We are very weak situation. There's a hope that with the Internet Development Program, it will be encourage economic growth. Number 4, the most important thing is the regulation that have not kept up with the time. Another challenge in the extension of the regulation and legal base that need to be designed to keep up with the time. The classic law, I mean the law what we use today, which state that the law always limit along the pursuit of the time. Many come into effect if the rule the game regarding the digital economic in Indonesia are not handled optimally. In response to this, the government has switched mid-law and regulation. I put this very important things. This is law and regulation that regulate the course of the national digital economic. The same applies in related institutions. This solely to protect the right of consumer and digital economic players so that they can run well in the future. At least the 5 challenging about the currently is very relevant to be faced by the government in terms economical digital. In the future, this challenge can be resolved soon and the scale of the growing digital economy in Indonesia. Thank you.
Thank you, Pak Robi Kusumaharta, the Senior Vice Chairman of the Yogyakarta Special Region Chamber of Commerce Industry, and a very comprehensive review, on 5 challenges. And now we're going to open now the question and answer, and this is a very good flow because related to the 5 challenges, we would like to ask Mr. Laszlo, because you have experience on the 5G, experience in Hungary, and maybe you can share with that. And I received text messages also from Mr. Richard, the International Relations Department will have a question, and also a text message from Mr. Fikri, from the Junior Chamber, the Executive Vice President of the National Junior Chamber, and the incoming president, if you win the elections, right? So thank you. Mr. Laszlo, related to that issue,
so
how do you solve it in Hungary?
Infrastructure development initiative of setting up 30 megabits of broadband wired in all the households in Europe by the end of 2020. And Hungary was the first to complete this initiative by the end of 2018. And what showed the importance of this was only in the March of 2020, when we had to go home, and our children had to go home and get the education from home. Other countries which had not managed to build the whole 30 megabits, because 30 megabits before 2020, before the COVID, it was nice to have, but after the COVID, it is a must-have. We must have some broadband, even wired, even 5G, 4G, anything, but you have to be connected. That's the same, and that grows the economy, and that's the fuel for the economy. Like that, before COVID, having a web shop, having an e-commerce solution for a small business, it was nice to have. But after that, when nobody came to your shop personally, it was a must-have. You either adopted or you shut down. I think that's the main reason behind the digitization had to be dealt with from the side of governments, either local, regional, or countryside. Infrastructure, connection, and all the digitization. You cannot skip digitization. You cannot live without digitization. 10 years ago, you could say that, okay, or most of the elderly in Hungary said that, okay, I lived most of my life without digitization, why should I enter? And then we had a huge program on digitization because a lot of Hungarian young people moved to the Western Europe, and their grandparents wanted to get contact with them, but they didn't know how to use the computer, they didn't know how to use the smartphones. So we launched a program. We have a network all around Hungary, and our mentors are teaching the elderly how to use the computer, because they still have some 10, 20, 30, 40, 100 years to go. And digitization is all around us, and you have a lower quality of life if you don't enter the world of digitization. Like it or not, because is it because of the COVID? Is it because of the war? Is it because of the crisis? These are challenges you have to answer.
Thank you. So very interesting, not just infrastructure, but digitalization. And I think mentoring the elderly, yeah, I think that was jadi orang tua itu dimentor untuk menggunakan digitalisasi ya. Ini menarik Pak Robi lihat saya. So that's actually a very interesting because yeah. 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 So that is, I think, lessons learned. Yeah, lessons learned. I mean, I have a nice technology thing, but I'm not too fluent in it. So that's good lessons learned. Yeah, not just digitalization for the millennial, but also for the elderly. Yeah. In Indonesia, we say for the millennial, huh? Right. Yeah, the health. Yeah.
Yeah, the healthcare, or the proceeding government services, because these weren't as available during the COVID, and they found, and they actually the transformation of the education was a huge mental barrier breakdown, because before, the parents or grandparents saw that the children are using the smartphone or using the laptop, and they said, okay, they are doing some games and having fun, and digitization is like, okay, you can have more fun, and you can access all the dumb things you can have. But after that, in like a week, when we transformed to the digital education, the grown-ups and the elderly said that, okay, I have to work on the internet on my digital device, and the children have to learn on these digital devices. Maybe this is not that useless.
Yes, thank you. So digital education, I think, is a key word there. Yeah? Digitalization, digital education. Yeah. So we have 3 questions now. I know Mr. Richard, Mr. Fikri, and Dr. Arif, yeah, he's one of Indonesia's leading AI educators. Have 3 wants to ask the floor, and to everyone, we started about 15 to 20 minutes late, so we will go up to 15 to 20 minutes beyond the allocated time that we had discussed. So, Mr. Richard, from the International Relations Compartment of the Chamber of Commerce of Yogyakarta, and also developing a economic industrial area. Yeah? Please go ahead.
Okay. Thank you, Pak George. Yes, this is a very good meeting. I would like to ask probably that what kind of business collaboration needed from the Hungary and also with the businessmen in Yogyakarta in relation with the presentation that we are having right now. Because of at the moment here in Yogyakarta, the Chamber of Commerce now is in all the businessmen here. So probably if there are some kind of collaborations needed from the Hungary and the Yogyakarta, that would be appreciated. Thank you.
Mr. Fikri? Mr. Fikri? Mic-nya tuang, Mas. Mic.
Okay, thank you. Our past national president of GCI Indonesia, I call PNP George. He is our mentor and our past national president also. Let me introduce, my name is Fikri. My business is providing a virtual office, also private office, and also help a foreigner to open company in Indonesia also. And usually I help Indonesian to open company in Singapore or in Hong Kong, because in Singapore it's very easy to open digital company. I think it's different with Indonesia. Yeah. Indonesia for digital is a little bit hard to open the company for foreigner. Nah, it's my question. How was in Hungary? Is open a company in Hungary is easy or little bit difficult maybe like in Indonesia? Because in Singapore or in Estonia is very easy. In Estonia, he has a resident. Yeah, so easy to open a company in Hungary. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Fikri. That'd be a good question. That's a very good question. And then Dr. Arif, yeah?
Or private data issue that we still ongoing discussion. We need legislation of that, especially because we have to have a standard in order to ensure the data exchange from Indonesia to other countries like in Europe. Secondly, it's about like in artificial intelligence, for example, we also like of the regulation in this country at the moment. So, for example, when the AI decided that someone has a right to, this is what we have been done with the USA. We talked about this last week. So, the idea is that every lecturer in this country need to make a research, and then we need a collaborator from all around the world, including the Hungary, of course, because we believe that Hungary university is very high quality. Secondly, about the possibility to make like we are in Erasmus programs with some universities in Europe. So is it any possibilities for Yogyakarta University to open that kind of collaboration with Hungarian university? If yes, then can we have some certain contacts to do that? Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Arif. So thank you, Pak Richard, Pak Fikri, and Dr. Arif. And I'm going to give the mic to the ambassador to respond to several of those questions.
Thank you very much. I don't want to answer all of them, but perhaps about the education and the collaborations, I can give some ideas that we are already working on. So right now, in Hungary, we are a huge lack of workforces. So especially in the IT industry, we are lacking because of also the war in Ukraine. There were many IT experts, and now they are out of this market. So we need to work on how to have these white-collar workers technically. So as we also have the scholarship program, which is as part of the EU, we also promote through the Erasmus. I think that is one of the a very important key element of the collaborations, to have these students who studied in Hungary perhaps have an internship program in Hungarian companies, to have an elevated knowledge. And when they come back, they also represent the Hungarian companies, but you can also have a wider picture of what we can offer and perhaps how we can collaborate. For sure, in Hungary, we have very different access to a market like in Southeast Asia. I always tell the Hungarian companies in any fields that the first thing they have to start is to find the right partner. So we are very much looking forward the trustworthy Indonesian companies who we can offer them to collaborate, either if they want to come here and sell their product or do something together, like work on a project. Because right now in Indonesia, the Indonesian government is working so much on the infrastructure development and many others that I think that the only way is if we collaborate together. I think Mr. László Jobbágy can also give you some specific ideas, because he is the yellow pages of the Hungarian companies. He's aware of more than 200 Hungarian companies. But just one more word about the education is, for example, ACPM that is also present here. It was their initiative to come here and work with the Indonesian universities and to establish this Operations Center, Security Operations Center. They have references all around the world working with governments. So I think they are very important part of this, because they are not in the bachelor or the basic level of the education, but something even higher elevated education. So I think these partners are definitely who has to come here and work with the universities. However, it shouldn't be ad hoc, but we have to plan it, and we are more than welcome, or more than happy to come here and work with Indonesian universities. Actually, UGM was just a week ago in Hungary, so they are also very active by themselves and come here. We have several universities, Indonesian ones, that we are working together, so any request is coming, we are more than happy to assist from the embassy. Thank you.
Thank you, Ambassador. And Mr. László, did you want to respond?
Hello. Okay, I try to address all the questions. First, about creating a company in Hungary and in Estonia. I think it was like 2 years ago when our Ministry of Interior ran a test about. It took 35 minutes to set up a company in Estonia. And 12 minutes in Hungary. So you can set up a company in Hungary in no time and fully electronically and remotely. I think I could set up any company in Hungary now. The problem is to have a bank account, a Hungarian bank account, because Hungarian banks have such strict KYC and AML rules that I think the first bank to offer remote setting up a new account last year. So I think it's possible as well, but I'm not sure, because there's a strict regulation. But if you have a bank account, you can set up a new company in Hungary in no time. Well, on the artificial intelligence, there's we have a quite comprehensive strategy on AI, and it's available in English, and it's rather fresh. It was approved by the government in September 2020. It consists of it covers whole of our understanding of the artificial intelligence, from the philosophical grounds to the regulations to the ethics to the ensuring the self-driving cars and so to the use cases and the technologies used in the artificial intelligence and to develop and aided by the country. I think our understanding on the AI can be described by the old joke in IT, and the biggest problem And biggest challenge is standardization. There's an old joke in IT that for something there are 13 standards. And they create a committee in order to have one standard above all, and now they have 14 standards. And I think that's the same, and that's the role of the government in these areas. For example, artificial intelligence. So many so many competing technologies, so many competing standards. For example, drones, they don't communicate with each other. The role of the government, the role of the Digital Success Program in Hungary, and the role of the local government here should be to create a cooperation between all the actors inside the country and globally as well. Because, for example, for drones, I think Gartner had a survey, or PwC had a survey that they predict that by 2030 there is going to be 1,000 times more drones in the skies. So now if you look at the sky and they tell you that, okay, drones don't navigate on themselves, they can collide with each other, and you say, okay, there's plenty of room in the sky, but in 8 years there isn't going to be, because there is going to be 1,000 times more drones. And that's the same with self-driving cars. Who is going to be insuring the self-driving cars? Who is going to be responsible if something bad happens? This is what we are covering, and our strategy is covering, and we have the biggest coalition in the field of artificial intelligence. Over 400 organizations are working in our artificial intelligence coalition. Regarding the setting up the networks, we had an interesting project with this European initiative, setting up the broadband in Hungary. There were areas even near the capital, like 20 kilometers from the capital, the maximum coverage was like 1 megabit. It was unusable and it was expensive, and the companies, the providers said that, okay, it's not worth it. It won't return, just like in Indonesia at the islands. And the government started a project that said, okay, those places where nobody wants to set up a network, I give 20% subvention. If still nobody wanted to create a network, then they give 40%, and then 60, and then 80. I think 80 was the highest, because for fifth the price, it was worth it. Even for like 1,000 people lived in that area, it was worth for them for 80% of the government's subvention. So there is always a solution. It may not be worse now, it may be worse like in 5 years. There are new technologies, Starlink and balloons and everything else aimed at these harsh environments, but there's a role of the government. There can be a role of the government in it, in these developments. Regarding the university cooperations, it depends on what the topic is. We had a structural change in the Hungarian higher education system. The universities were reorganized. Most of the universities were reorganized, but we are working with most of the Hungarian universities operating on the field of IT or technology or even creative industry. I think we are in cooperation with like 25 or 30 Hungarian universities, and each is allocated a role, each is allocated a topic. For example, the University of Szeged, which is going to host the next year's Olympiad, has a responsibility in open source software and the development of software for the government. And other universities have digital education, the software robots of the government, and so on. So one is responsible for agriculture. So if you are interested in any topic, we can tell you which university is responsible for it and set you up to coordinate. Thank you.
Yes, Maripa. Director Widya would like to.
Thank you, Pak George. I would like to respond to what Pak Robi mentions on the importance of the cybersecurity, Pak. I think this is the one of the common challenges between the Hungary and Indonesia. In our part, BSSN, Pak, the Badan Sandi dan Cyber dan Sandi Negara, now is in discussions with the Hungarian side, and I think in the near future there will be a MOU will be signed, and also the cooperation between the BSSN and its counterpart of the Hungary. And I think I've also listened about the plan to develop the cybersecurity training center in Yogyakarta. I think the experience and also the inputs from the BSSN it will be valuable. And also I think it's like a triangular cooperations between the government, the business, and also the universities, the academy. Because like Pak Robi said, the regulations always come late behind the technology. So I think this is important. Another thing, I think the opportunity of study and also like Ambassador said of working in the Hungary, for example, we have some cooperation on vocations in some parts, but I think the digital area is one thing that probably we could explore further. So that's from our side, Pak George. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Widya, the Director for Europe 1 from the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. And now I want to go to Budapest because that's related also to cybersecurity for Mr. Marton Miklos, coming out of Budapest. The floor is yours, Mr. Marton, regarding cybersecurity, the question on cybersecurity. Mr. Marton? Are we still online?
Yeah, I'm online.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. Yeah,
all
thank
right,
you.
Okay, sorry. Yeah, back.
Thank you. Yeah, so regarding cybersecurity, please, Mr. Marton.
Look, I mean, there have been a lot of questions regarding cybersecurity during this discussion, and some of them are touched on the legislation, regulation challenges, and this is something that we had a lot of experience. We had our consultants worked in Hungary when the relevant regulations were defined. We also working with some European institutions and also with our international partners. We actually had extensive experience in cyber regulations in Kenya, in Dubai. And also our partners was involved in setting up the cyber regulations in Malaysia. And I believe that if you set up the cooperation with Jakarta universities, that this is going to be one of the areas that we would like to work on. Cybersecurity is not that technical. It's not only technical issue. It's a very much a regulation and legislative issue. And this is something that every government should keep in mind, that it's very hard to establish a cyber resilience countrywide without actual proper legislation. The technical side of the cyber security, it actually comes second. First, you need to have a very, very well thought over legislation, regulations on every aspect of cybersecurity. Be that technical type of crime like malware attacks, but also other type of like social engineering, cyberbullying, and so on. So this is actually something which is very important, and we plan to work on this.
For the answer, and thank you for keeping with us during this hybrid forum. And with Mr. Marton Miklos's answer regarding cybersecurity, we are now going to begin to close the session, this forum, as we are hitting the top of the hour now in Indonesia. We're coming into 6 p.m. and we have a networking dinner now. And so I think dinner is ready for us. Obviously here that are on site, and for those online, I think you can enjoy your coffee and dinner wherever you're at. And what? virtually, virtually. We can have virtual dinner together. So, but I would like to ask the Ambassador Lila Karsai, to give the final remarks, and then representing the Embassy of Hungary in Jakarta, and then afterwards representing the Indonesian government, the Foreign Ministry, for Mr. Widya Sadnovic to provide also the final remarks. So now, the Ambassador of Hungary, Her Excellency Ibu Lila Karsai.
Thank you very much, Pak George. I would like to thank for everyone to be here and gave a big contribution for this event, like sharing all these thoughts that in my opinion, are very important and very actual topics. I also believe that beside of the information, the questions are even very important, or if not more, because this is how we can discover what is interesting for the other partners. And I think for this dinner will be also about a lot of talks, and I encourage everyone to keep up with the good connection. Also, the colleagues who are virtually connected, also try to reach them out, because they are the ones who wants to be here, and they make all the efforts to be here from the Hungarian side. I also would like to thank Pak George again for making this event possible. I think it was a very, very good organization. I already got feedbacks from online participants that it was very good. So I think it's you deserve a round of applause as well. But also from the Yogyakarta government, we are very happy to have you here and give the opening remarks. Also from the universities, from the business side, and from KEMLU side as well, because you are also one of our the first gate between Hungary and Indonesia for us, and Mr. László Jobbágy for giving
today. But even it is the new beginning that we can go through together through collaboration and partnerships. And I inspired by the words of Widya before, that I just remember about very popular communications devices that has a popular sayings, connecting the people. This is not about connecting the people, but also connecting many opportunity and many collaborative works amongst stakeholders and partners. So as an expressions, a small expressions, we would like to present just a gift, a small gift. Pak Robi Kusumaharta, would you like to, Pak, yes? Yes, to give a very small present for Her Excellency Lila Karsai, the Ambassador of Hungary, and then for Pak Widya Sadnovic as the Director of Europe 1, Ministry of Foreign Affairs, and also for Mr. László Jobbágy. Mr. László Jobbágy. Yeah. Mr. László Jobbágy, and then Her Excellency Lila Karsai, the ambassador of the ambassador of Hungary. And then for Pak Widya Sadnovic. Thank you very much. For Mr. László Jobbágy. Yeah, yeah. And after this, we invite all the participants, distinguished participants, and all colleagues to come in front to have group pictures together. Please? Yeah. After this. Mari kami persilahkan untuk kita foto bersama. Iya, saya kira yang lainnya bisa ini podiumnya bisa digeser, kita geser.
Gede.
Ya, kita di sini. Oh. Bapak Ibu, untuk dinner ada di restoran ya, di restoran di bawah. So it's time for us to have a networking dinner at the restaurant downstairs. Thank you.